What's good, guys? We're back with Behind the Stage with another episode. This week we have the 4K, the one and only, the UK's best, one of the best even, commentators. To say he's behind the stage is something that may or may not happen. Like, he is definitely in front of the camera, but sometimes they are behind the stage. And for those that have just joined us, Behind the Stage is a podcast where I get to talk to a lot of people that help run events in any way, shape, or form. And this week we have Jammerz. Jammerz, what's good, man?
What's going on, Drift? Thanks for having me, because I know we spoke about this like a couple of days ago.
Yeah, this one was a short notice on your side, at least, on me trying to get you on. So thank you for joining us. Joining me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the day. As of this recording, it's the night before Ultimate Fighting Arena. It's going to be happening this weekend through 13th, and the 15th of this September. So
that's me packing right there, that bag. So it's all fun and games. So we're going to finish up doing this and then finish packing. So for those that don't know you, which those listening will definitely do, but for those that don't know you, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, let's try not make this a 20-year story. But yes, what's going on, people? My name is Jammerz. That's what I'm predominantly known for in the Street Fighter community, part of the FGC, the fighting game community. I am a commentator. I've hosted events as well, and I can partially do analysis as well for the game. I strictly do events and kind of esports stuff for Street Fighter 6, as well as I've done some Tekken stuff as well, but you mainly see me doing talking waffle, I should say, regarding Street Fighter and the semantics of the game at a competitive level. I've been doing it for around 10 years, probably 10 years now, I think it is. And it's taken me to all different places of the world, to different cultures, different people, different communities for this game as well. And it's been a really good time. And this is partly how I met Drift. It was through Street Fighter. So
exactly,
a good time.
Definitely.
And I'm like, you're going to see me again this weekend talking some more Street Fighter, so I wouldn't change it for the world.
No, hell yeah, for sure. Has it been 10 years already? Like, if we count 10 years, that's probably Street Fighter 4 era where it dropped, right? Yeah, Street Fighter 4.
I'd definitely say when I wanted to like get involved with this stuff or realize like how cool this stuff was, it was definitely in 2014. I'm almost saying, because 2014 was my second year of university. So that's when things started to change up. So it's been probably 10 years.
Jesus. That's definitely some time then. 10 years in the fighting game scene with Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 5 to now Street Fighter 6. You have, like I said, been around the world. You've done a lot of events. You've commentated with some greats, with some special places. You've definitely been around the world. You've just been announced for Singapore. That's not a leak because Capcom Fighters has literally put that out there, so don't worry. I'm all good there. Where did you start commentating? Like, what your history in this scene? You are now obviously a commentator, but you also play the game as well. Not a lot of commentators do. Not everyone does. We all do different bits and pieces of jobs. So, Street Fighter 4 came out, you played a little bit. How did that develop into you being a commentator?
Well, I used to... let me preface this by saying I used to do YouTube videos, and I haven't done a YouTube video in about 4 years now. So what I used to do was I used to do YouTube videos over Call of Duty gameplay, and then just do commentary over those. So it was kind of like a solo commentary thing. And then I transitioned over to fighting games. I did some Street Fighter 4 videos, I did some Street Fighter Tekken videos, and just talked over those. But I was doing commentary in some way, just not in any regard to FGC stuff. And then I went to, I think it was EGX 2013 or 2014. It's one of those 2 years. And I saw that they were doing a Capcom Pro Tour event at EGX, which was run by Mark and Richard. Shout out to Mark and Richard. They were part of Unequal Media at the time. And obviously, I saw them. They recognized me. I recognized them. Now, I had no idea it was a CPT event. I had zero clue it was a CPT event. I just saw people sitting down, talking about the game, and then just moving on. I asked them, can I commentate? And they said, no. And it was like, okay. Like, that was the answer, basically. But it was, when you realize the gravity of the situation, it made total sense.
Yeah.
And people already assigned to do some commentary. It was a big event. I had no idea what the value of Capcom Pro Tour was at the time. So it definitely made a lot of sense. That's when I met a lot of the people in the scene now. Pax, Problem. Why I spoke to Problem more back then.
Before you both got famous.
I think. Well, I mean, Problem was actually really well known in the scene, so I got to know him a little bit better through Street Fighter 4 back then. I think there was a bunch of other people like I knew, even King Quaker as well. Shout out to King Quaker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw that, and I just watched the event. And I was there with some university friends at the time because we all like our games. But then later on that year, obviously, because Heart of Gaming used to still be around where I live, it's just 10 minutes away of when Heart of Gaming used to be in Northampton.
Yeah.
So when it was there, the guys that were running Heart of Gaming here, obviously, bracket reset was becoming a thing for Street Fighter 4. And Mark and Richard was setting that up in Caledonia Road, Meltdown Caledonia Road, which is still there today, but under a different name and under different management.
Yeah. And
the guys who were running Heart of Gaming, they said, oh, you should just go over to Meltdown and just get your Street Fighter fix over there. And I went to one of them, and then I saw them setting up doing a stream and people commentating, and I was like, oh, okay. I said, can I come on and jump on here? Then they gave me a go, and then I was able to talk, and they said, oh, we didn't know you could like talk over video games. I said, well, you never are, like, you know. So that's the kind of answer I'd give them. But I didn't realize the scope of didn't know the scope of what it was and what it would lead to.
No.
Because it's like, again, I used to do a lot of solo commentary. So I'm just looking at a game, talking over myself. And it's like, you've got another person there to talk about the game with, but I didn't really understand the dynamic of that with fighting games. Like the whole concept of two people talking about a fighting game for a competitive environment just didn't quite I didn't quite understand it, didn't quite comprehend it. So I went there a couple of times, started talking a bit more, or started to commentate a bit more. And at some point, they said, oh, would you like to like join us, be part of Unequal Media? And then you can develop and grow from there. And then obviously I'd go to Bracket Reset, talk a little bit, watch the guys play, and try and learn things through Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
But it was a very, they definitely provided the platform and the means to do it. And then it was just entirely up to me to kind of pursue that sort of thing. But the whole thing was like, oh, this is cool. And I like Street Fighter. I like talking about video games. So just merge the two. So I know that was a rough outline of how it started.
Okay.
Because I can't remember everything specifically.
No, go on.
But it was it was a very interesting journey. And it was at the end of, roughly near the end of Street Fighter 4 as well, when the game's already fleshed out, the meta's already fleshed out. Yeah, you got pros doing this. So it was a very interesting start for me with Street Fighter, because I used to watch a lot of Street Fighter 4 videos anyway, because me and my friends just used to watch that like all the time. We used to go on Yoga Flames YouTube. Yeah, there used to be European YouTubers that used to broadcast the European talent or the European players. Yeah, I used to just watch replays and talk about them, but we didn't talk about it from a compared aspect. We just like, oh, Steph's annoying, no one likes Dalsim, everybody hates Suckers, one frame link, like stuff like that. It wasn't like, oh, what's the matchup, what's the game plan, etc.
That came later, right? So you're watching these YouTube videos when you first started. You're not already knowing the move names, or you've gotten the the terminology of the game Street Fighter 4 just through watching these videos. You're not watching these to study, to commentate.
Yeah, you just had no idea. At that point you had no idea what to talk about. Yeah, that's the thing. You're just watching the character play. Oh, nice combo. Yeah. Oh, this was great. Oh, here's that player. I saw him yesterday buying chicken and chips from the chip shop. You don't know, like, there's no substance, no essence to what you're talking about. Yeah. So, yeah, it was, looking back on it now in retrospect, it was like that. And then you can look back at it, have a laugh. You're like, what on earth was I talking about? Like, it's funny. When you go back and look at your old work, it is hilarious. But you're like, did I really say that? And it's like, well, there you go. That's how to serve yourself, humble pie.
Yeah, true. Like, if you look back at your own work and you don't feel a certain way about it or don't see how you improved, it's definitely one of those things where you go, have I improved? Or why did I talk like that? Why did I take this picture like that in my sense? Or anything like that. But my real question here, really, after that like story of how you started being a YouTuber, first off, what isn't new to me, I've known this for some time, but why did you like decide to do voiceover work or commentary, even solo commentary work over Call of Duty?
It was interesting, way more interesting. And Call of Duty. So with Call of Duty, I jumped into Call of Duty and Modern Warfare 2, the 2009 one, the most over-exaggerated Call of Duty, but it was probably the best.
The best.
I'll give you the best Call of Duty out there. Now, I didn't know the objective of the game. When I wanted to get into it, I played it with some friends, and I said, "How do you play this? How do you get good?" And no one told me how to play the game.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'll just figure this out myself. By the end of high school, I was probably the best Call of Duty player in my high school, because I used to be that guy with two kills and 100 deaths, and then you flip down his head. I used to get 100 kills and 1 death, and people would want to play with me when they knew I was the best. Now, I've got a whole YouTube channel recording like this stuff with all these high kill montages, everything. Like
it's still on there.
Still there.
Okay.
I can probably still find some videos.
I will link to
not
YouTube.
Public, if they're not public, I can find them, because Call of Duty is an arcade shooter. You're in high school, you finish school, you just go online, you just chat shit with the boys and go nuts. A lot of people used to just ask me, "Hey, like, are you down to play some Call of Duty?" I was like, "Yeah, cool, we can do whatever." They're like, "How do you know? How do you know if people are going to spawn? How you go good? Why are you getting all these weapons to max levels and all this stuff?" But I used to do this and put it on YouTube as well. Now, transitioning over to fighting games, I took the mentality of I'm the best in Call of Duty, but I'm the best in fighting games. And don't do that. Like, it just you get the biggest awakening when you think when you're good in one game or excellent in one game, it will transfer over. No, because shooting games and fighting games are vastly different. So I was getting beat up. I thought jumping heavy kick into sweep was the shit. I thought like that was the greatest combo known to man. And then like stuff just wasn't, it wasn't working. And I was like, okay, but this is interesting. It's like, oh, I want to be good, so people know that I'm good at this game, sort of thing. So that kind of hunger, that competitive hunger was still there.
Okay.
And I know it's because more people, if you're looking at metrics, especially how games go nowadays, more people would watch first-person shooters and follow that than people do fighting games, because first-person shooters are more relatable. But I was getting bored because as new Call of Duty came out, it was just the same thing.
Yeah.
I just had to memorize the map, the 3-lane system formula, and just find out what were the best guns and the optimized kill streaks were. And I mean, with my favorite Call of Duty was Black Ops 1.
Okay.
The Call of Duty where I figured out how everything worked was Modern Warfare 3.
Okay.
And then after that, it was just, this is boring. Now, I've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years. It's just boring. Then fighting games, full combos, full characters. There was always something to come back to and try and strive to get better.
Yeah.
So I just said, okay, let's just divert our attention over there. And in this period, Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out. It was in that full fight period, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And I loved Street Fighter characters. Yeah. And I remember Tekken. And I wanted to play Tekken, I think it was Tekken 6. It's Tekken 6? It's Tekken 6 or Tekken Tag 2.
Right.
And a friend who played Tekken at the time, he said, well, you might as well just play Street Fighter Cross Tekken or wait for that. Only because you know how to play Street Fighter, they're going to bring the Tekken characters over there anyway.
Yeah.
So I kind of just put all my attention and wanted to take fighting games seriously through Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And as I was trying to get better at that, as I was trying to get better at that, I was making videos, uploading matches, and then I was doing commentaries over those. So I just talk about the game or random stuff in general.
Yeah.
And then I met a lot of the community through Street Fighter Cross Tekken because they did give it a go. But obviously most of the community didn't like it. But I like tag games and I like the tag system. A lot of stuff people want in fighting games was in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. You've probably heard me carping about this for ages. And the thing is, I used to play the game for like 7 to 8 hours on end, just playing random characters. Like Sagat and Chun-Li, Hwoarang and Jack X, Jin and King, Elisa and Raven. My main team at the time was Julia and Poison, because I wanted to play Julia, and someone said, don't play Julia in Tekken, play her in Cross Tekken. I could play like half the cast, but at some point in the game. And some of the players in the community, no one will ever tell you this, some of the teams that people were using in the Cross Tekken community, it's because they saw me use the team, and they said, oh, that's an interesting team. Then they took it and further optimized it. But they never had the team idea in the first place.
Yeah. So you are basically the godfather of like Street Fighter Cross Tekken team building.
Because it's like, this is going to sound stupid, it's like Build-A-Bear.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you get two characters, and you got a really cool tag system.
Yeah.
And then you can go, once you understood it, it was just fun. And there were some wild teams you could go nuts with. And that's what I tried to do. And then all the juggle system, the combos, it was super fun. So, yeah, I was doing, I think the games on my YouTube channel, the most that were uploaded were probably Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Call of Duty, probably Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Like, I remember, like, we've had discussions outside of this podcast, like we are somewhat friends, I hope, talk, whenever Cross Tekken comes through, like, it's just you, a couple of guys, and it's just that when's this coming back. So Capcom, if you're listening, if you ever watch this, if you want to bring Street Fighter Cross Tekken back in a HD remake or remaster with rollback, you're the first person you're going to have right there is Jammerz himself.
Brother, like, listen, I would have to, I'd probably have to try and bend heaven and earth to get that. Because I'd vouch for it and say people give it another go, because I think this might be a little bit biased, to be honest, but I think what people are starved of in a lot of fighting games today, you can find in Cross Tekken.
Okay, give me an example.
So, from a competitive standpoint,
sure,
is anti-air damage. Let's just look at that. When someone jumps, when you anti-air, the risk reward doesn't work in the defender's favor. In Cross Tekken, it did. Someone jumps, you do an uppercut, and because of a tag cancel, you tag in your partner, and you tack on an extra 200, 300 damage. They'd lose 40%, and they're like, oh, okay. This is why timeout happened. Nobody could jump, because you'd anti-air, calling your partner. And if the partner was a Shoto or a Tekken character, your health bar knew about the damage. They didn't do it. Oh, look, you can ask people, jump in on Nina, Jin, Elisa, one of the Shotos, or maybe Rufus? Was it Rufus?
Bob?
No, not Bob. Bob was a good one, but Hwoarang.
Oh. It
was Hwoarang, sorry. And then you did that. Like, you did that. So you did it. Another aspect of large rosters. There was, I think, at the start of the game, there was over 50. No, it was like an odd 39 to 40-something characters. I think the starting roster across Tekken.
It was quite large.
And then it turned into, yeah, and it's a team game. So with a team game, you'll get a large roster. But obviously, one of the biggest deterrents with team games is, I've got to learn two characters. It's I've got to learn more than one thing, and learning one thing is hard enough already.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I noticed with other games, I noticed with other things, when someone's curious about something, they will go out of their way to learn it.
Yeah. They
won't even picture the flaming hoops to jump through. They'll figure out a way to do it. With fighting games, fighting games are like window shopping. Man, I really want that jacket. I'm not gonna step inside and buy that jacket. That jacket looks really cool, but I'm not gonna go anywhere near it. Then you look at someone else wearing the jacket. That jacket looks really cool and new. I really want that jacket. It's like, but I'm not gonna buy it. That's how I see it sometimes. Maybe that was a bad analogy, but it's like sometimes that's how I see it. More and more people are getting into fighting games, which is great.
Yes.
But I think sometimes the philosophy, the kind of barrier is in their own head. It's just, I can't do this. I can't. Have you tried? No, but I'm just scared of or whatever. So
true.
If Cross Tekken ever comes back in some capacity, or a new tag fighter comes into a capacity that we can enjoy, then I'm down. That's me.
Cool. Awesome. No. So, Street Fighter 4, EGX, and then Meltdown, or the Hard Gaming to Meltdown, to jumping on the mic because you asked to do it. And it was literally a simple case of from the Heart of Gaming telling you to go to somewhere else to play Street Fighter, and then asking to jump on the mic to do that sort of work. Originally, that's where you started from. Is probably the correct way to describe it right now. Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out. And then the brief history I have for you really is...
Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out before the whole commentary thing happened.
Oh, shit, okay.
So yeah, because Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out 2013, and the whole situation of me getting into commentary is from 2014.
Okay, my bad.
So it was more of a transition from Cross Tekken to Street Fighter.
Oh, okay. That makes a bit more sense. So yeah, Cross Tekken to Street Fighter, started your commentary... The walk down commentary lane, I guess, is a way to describe it, of you starting to sit on the sofa, sit on a chair with a partner, talk through commentary. And then the real fast forward version of this is Street Fighter 5 came out. It was Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition 2012, whatever version it was, finished. Street Fighter 5 came out. You started picking it up. You started doing a lot more commentary jobs with Capcom officially. Plus some events, a lot more events even. Then you got known for your Poison gameplay, because that's where the character you ended up on by the end of Street Fighter 5. And now we're in Street Fighter 6. So the main chunk of the story of your last 10 years, really at the moment, is at the forefront of my mind, really, is Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 5's lifespan, because that is the largest chunk of it all. To roll off the gigs you've done so far. Street Fighter League for EU, Street Fighter Evo numerous times, a lot of fighting game majors, so Mix Up, UFA, Versus Fighting, Head Stomper was a great event. Hopefully that comes back. And that's just 6 off the top of my head right now, right? Have I missed anything out majorly there?
I guess Intel World Open when I went to Poland to do that.
Sorry, yes.
I went to the Capcom Cup 2 years running. 2 years running for Street Fighter 5, 2018 and 2019. 2018 was an accident.
Okay.
2018 was an accident.
Did you just suddenly roll out of bed and fall into Capcom Cup then?
If you want to put it like that, you can. But basically, there was a point where I was still doing with G-Finny as well.
Of course, it's G-Finny.
There was a point where this whole thing wasn't working. It's like I was doing it, but I didn't see any reward or ROI, and I didn't see any future in it. So I wanted to just I was just slowly making a exit.
Okay.
Because I had a friend who he had basically a day job, and he was watching some of the things I did, and I was like, this was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, this was 2018. It was coming near the end of the year, and I was like, man, this isn't working. I've tried for a couple of years. It was fun. Maybe we should put it down. So, okay, well, look, there's an empty vacancy at my workplace. So if you want to come through and then do something over the Christmas period, and then you can sort yourself out after that, then you're more than welcome. Just let me know and we'll get something sorted. And literally on that same week, Tasty Steve messages me because I met Tasty Steve in person when he came to Versus Fighting 2018 for Tekken.
Yeah.
And then we hit it off. We had a good time. I saw him in front a couple months later and we hit it off. And Steve would go, are you coming to Capcom Cup? And I was like, no. It's that's just out of the cards. It's out of the question. And then he'd throw in this thing where he goes, what if someone sent you to Capcom Cup? And he just out of curiosity, hypothetical. I said, I'd probably go. He said that at Versus Fighting. Then when we met and Mix Up, he said the same thing. He said, are you going to Capcom Cup? I said, no. He said, what if someone was to send you out to Capcom Cup? I was like, I'd probably go, but it's not feasible at the moment.
Yeah.
And then that year, so it was, I believe, who was on the roster? It was Sajam, Tasty Steve.
Yeah.
Logan.
F-Word?
No, the F-Word wasn't there. F-Word was there, but he wasn't on the lineup.
Okay.
I think Victus.
Yeah.
I think her name was Jack Manor. I think it was Yipes. I can't remember. I really have to dig deep and find this.
Yeah.
But basically, F-Word wasn't on the roster, and there was a huge uproar as to F-Word not being on the roster.
Oh, that year. Okay.
And then F1 was planning to go to the Cup anyway. And he found very cheap flight deals to Las Vegas because he was in the HyperX Arena in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And he said, he put on Twitter, he said, right, there's cheap airline deals. If you want to come to Capcom Cup and join the LCQ, here, just sort yourself out. Then Steve messages me and he goes, look, there's cheap flight deals to Las Vegas. So, like, it's the Cup. And I was like, well, that's night for the deal. I can't.
I still have the money for it.
I still saw what F-Word put out, but I can't do it. And he goes, right, what if I gave you half the money to go? Would you come? And without even blinking, I said, yeah, I'll come. And he PayPal'd me half the money. At the time, I spoke to the heads of Unequal Media, Mark, Richard, and Jamar, R.I.P. Jamar. I said, right. I said, here's the lowdown. If you even give me half the money to go to Capcom Cup, I'll ask you guys for the other half. And they said, we'll do it. So they just got me a ticket, sorted me out. They were already going to Capcom Cup anyway. Yeah. And they said, right, we'll give you the other half to go. So I went to Capcom Cup that year. Now, in a little funny story for you in that same year. So this is when I started to talk to, shouts to Spag. I started to talk to Spag a little bit more in that year because we bumped into each other at events and we see each other, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Evo that year. And he said, did you apply for Evo? And I said, no. He said, why didn't you apply for Evo? I think you're more than qualified to apply for Evo. I think you should give it a go. And I said, the only reason I didn't apply to Evo was I played a scenario in my head. Was, what if, so you're hired for commentary, you've done your commentary block, and then there's an emergency situation. Emergency situation is a top 16 or a top 8, right? One of the commentators is sick, or he has a family emergency or something, and we need someone to fill in. Can you do that role? And I said, no. If I can't do that, I'm not going to apply. That was my mindset at the time.
Okay.
Now, going to the Capcom Cup, what happened was, there was obviously their official lineup of the people I mentioned: Vicious, Logan, Jackie Olena, Sajam, Tasty Steve. I guess Yipes, I think, was there. Yeah, Yipes was definitely there. I know he was there because we did something. So what happened was the company whose broadcast the event, Tenor, they were there.
Yeah.
And obviously they worked with Logan and F-Word for previous Capcom Cups and previous events, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now there was two streams. There was the winner's stream and there was the loser's stream. So I introduced myself to the head of the company, Chris Segler. Shouts to Chris. He done wonders for a lot of people, including me. He was speaking to F-Word, then he went off somewhere, and then they came back, and then Chris goes, right, there's a little bit of a mix-up. I said, okay. He said, we've got people to cover or man the winner stream, but there's no one to do the loser stream.
Right.
He said, do you want to sit there with F-Word and do the remaining loser matches? And in my head played the scenario of the imaginary scenario. I put myself against the Evo. Yeah. And I said, this is exactly why. I said, it was this whole situation. I played it in my head, and lo and behold, the universe listened, and it just came to fruition at Capcom Cup. And I said, right, I'll do it. But I was like, wow, what have I got myself into? It was a very big deal, but I was 655 a little bit at the time, and it was like, I was an F-Word, so it's like, we can do it. I think we did about 3 or 4 matches. But that was unexpected because I didn't tell anyone I was going to Capcom Cup.
No.
Ensod was going anyway. I showed up at Capcom Cup, and then the stream comes back on, and you just see F-Word and Jammerz sitting there. And my phone was going, it was pinging off like crazy because it was like, what is going on? Because we didn't tell anyone.
No.
But we didn't know ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, this is a great surprise. And people messaging me like, bro, how did you come to the cup? You weren't even on the lineup. And I was like, it's
surprise.
You just like, I don't know, it's surprise at all. Like,
jump out of boxing and Jammerz.
And you just have to take it in its stride.
Yeah. Okay, question.
And go on.
What changed in your mentality of the scenario in your head for Evo of saying no if the scenario happens to suddenly being in person at Capcom Cup, Seg coming up to you going, hey, we need you to do a job, can you do it? And you saying yes. What changed in your mentality?
I'd said at the time, I was like, right, Steve brought us out here, make it count. Like, make it count. I don't think at the time, I was thinking, I don't think there's going to be another opportunity like this again. So, like, take it in a stride, talk some Street Fighter, you're going to be with F-word, but you're going to be fine. So that was kind of the mentality change.
Okay.
But it was just funny how the whole situation came about when I made it a hypothetical like 5 to 6 months ago. So definitely, and the thing is, when I went over there, like all the Americans, they like, oh man, we really love your commentary. Like, I'm a big fan. I love the knowledge. So it was just an eye opener because you know, I don't really engage with stream chat when I'm doing like my jobs.
Yeah.
So coming out to the Capcom Cup, and I didn't tell anyone I was going to the Capcom Cup, and then people just say, "Oh, are you Jammerz?" Like, oh, we love the stuff you and the rest of the EU crew do. So it was very eye opening, and it was after the whole situation, it was another reason to like stick around because up to a certain point, I could probably count about 10 times. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this stuff. Like, I'll just go and do something else. Like, I'm not feeling it anymore. I don't want to hang around here anymore. But after the whole Capcom Cup incident in 2018, it was like, okay, we'll tack on another year. Let's see what happens, and then we can try and build from there. So it was that was part of the origin story as to why I'm still here doing this today.
I mean, I still love seeing you at events. I still love hanging out with you whenever, regardless of events or not. So, Jammerz, well, thank you for sticking around. You'd probably still be playing fighting games regardless, commentary or not. Yeah, like us and the boys. Like, if I eventually turn up to a house session again, will be fun times. So, I listed off a lot of your previous jobs. You've just spoken about Capcom Pro Tour 2018. And I think I was one of the people that messaged you as well, going, "What the fuck? How did you suddenly turn up on stream?" Like, I'm woken up and I'm seeing you on stream. Like, did you just fly over there for the shits and giggles? It was great. So many jobs, so many gigs. Gfinity, RIP that stream, that production as well. Unfortunately, they've gone down. EWC.
Funny you mentioned that.
All right.
Sorry, funny you mentioned that. So one of the people that done one of the heads of Gfinity at the time, shout out to Amanda. She actually has her own company, her own production company that does some work with Red Bull. And I can't remember exactly what the company name is, but I actually saw her at the Tekken 8 Red Bull The Pit event earlier this year.
Oh, amazing!
Before Tekken 8's release. So don't worry, I've seen her. Some of the people are still around. They're just
different
companies.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the people are still around. They're good people, really good people.
Good, I'm glad.
Sorry, you mentioned it, EWC, I think you mentioned.
Yeah, so you did EWC just recently, Esports World Cup, that was in Saudi. You've done the IOC, the Intel Open Championship, got renamed to, I think it was, what it stood for.
Intel World Open.
Intel World Open, IWO. So that's the other one, plus all these events, plus Capcom Pro Tour, Street Fighter League, Evos again, a lot of jobs. I asked this question to you like a few months ago when I was still hashing out this idea of a podcast out, and now it's come to fruition, and you're on here. Like, what are you most known for? What do you think you are most known for?
You mean event-wise or just Street Fighter?
In commentary, in your commentary role. Like, you know, you've done a little bit of Tekken with Red Bull Golden Letters, which is coming back at the end of September. You've done a lot of Street Fighter. You've hosted, done some analytical work. You've done some, you've done plenty of work. So the question is, what do you think you are most known for in your 10 years, maybe slightly less, of commentary work?
I would say the Sky Sweat Room that happened last year for Street Fighter 6.
Oh, with Guild?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
Number two, probably been seen at Capcom Cup. And number three, I don't know. It's because it's just a regular, like you see me on a regular basis. So it's like, oh, I see you talking Street Fighter. I wasn't specifically
sure,
but the people have come up to me and said, oh, I've seen you here, was the Sky Sweat Room, the special event, Street Fighter 6, Capcom Cup, and I would probably say the Tekken community only know me because of the clip that went. Yeah, it was a clip that went viral of me not shaking my hand when I wanted to shake his hand, and he thought I was pointing at his trophy. The Tekken team were loving it. They were loving it because I said, "Is he going to shake my hand?" Did I said, "Shake my hand"? He didn't. Then I said, "Is he going to shake my hand?" Then I went, "Is he going to shake my hand?" I said, "He's not going to shake my hand." Okay, so I had to play it off live on camera, so it was pretty fun.
Playing off live is always fun.
Yeah, listen, man, do you know what? He apologized. He didn't mean it. We found it funny. Everyone found it funny because he thought I was pointing at the trophy. He was like, "Oh, I want to shake my hand," so he shook my hand afterwards. I was like, big fan. Yeah. Spice Wet Room, Cackle Pro Tour, or Cackle Cup.
And just a general the everyday grocery shopping.
Yeah, I think. Well, the thing is, I think it's just things here and there because some people will say, "Oh, I heard your voice was on the Street Fighter channel for Word on the Street when we did some guides for Street Fighter 5."
Yeah.
Some people are like, "Oh, I saw you at Gamers 8 or I saw you at EWC."
Yeah.
Other people are like, "Oh, hey, I saw you on that weekly show." So it's just like, it's stuff here and there. Yeah. It's nothing like concrete.
No.
It was the concrete stuff is Capcom Cup and Sky Sweat Room.
Yeah. So the Guild Sky Sweat Room is a little bit of a tongue twister for me. Amazing event. I watched it because that was to basically sign up some professional players, basically, to join into Street Fighter League, right?
So basically what happened was so they would invite up to, I think it was 7 or 8 players to play for a professional contract under Guild. They'd get a full-on gaming rig, gaming PC, the whole shebang, and they'd get a professional contract for a certain period of time with Guild, which obviously Suleiman won. Shouts to Suleiman. I wasn't actually supposed to be there.
Okay.
So what happened was I was supposed to. So I got an email from someone called Chloe. Amazing woman. Shout out to Chloe. I got an email from Chloe saying, "Oh, do you want to be part of this event?" And I was coming back from Gamers 8 at the time, so I couldn't answer them because I was on the way back from Gamers 8. When I landed, I said, "Hey, you know what? I could be part of this event." We went through the logistics, so on and so forth. And they said, "Oh, okay, don't worry, we've already sorted out our stuff." And I was like, "Okay, no problem. It looks like they've got people to work with, no problem." Someone else messaged me and said, "Oh, hey, would you like to be part of this event?" And I was like, "Well, I just spoke to your colleague Chloe. I think we're all good." Yeah. And they said, "Oh no, we're inviting you because we want you to play." And I was like, I said, I don't play." And then they said, "Oh, yeah, we want you to play." And I was like, I don't play, I only commentate. And it seems that you've already got your commentators and stuff sorted out. So, like, I'm good. And they were basically trying to explain to me what it was leading towards.
Right.
And I had to explain I was explaining to them, I said, "I hate to break it to you, your grand prize is I'm already going to be at your grand prize. So there's no point of me being here."
Yeah.
That's what I said, because obviously it looked like they had everything sorted. So I just carefully just said, "Okay, cool. We're not going to get this one because you can't win all the gigs. It's completely fine."
Yeah.
Put it down. But obviously the player who got the professional contract was going to be part of their team for Street Fighter League. I'm like, but I'm already going to be part of Street Fighter League. So I don't see a point in me.
Yeah.
That was my mentality.
Sure.
So like they said, we just stopped talking because it looked like everything was sorted out. And then they messaged me back and said, they messaged me back like a week and a half later or so. They said, "Oh, do you wanna come through?" And I was like, I don't play. And then they said, "Oh, okay, look, we want you to be part of this event. We really want you to be part of this event. Okay. And if you win the event, then we'll just change up the prize for you because obviously you don't need the actual prize." So I just said, "Okay, come on over. Like, let's just do it." And then I got to see a lot of the guys. I got to see other people as well. And it was a really good event. I saw Deji, KSI's brother, over there.
Yeah.
Because I just saw Deji in Saudi for Gamers 8. And then 2 weeks later, I see him in East London for Sky Sweat Room. And I thought, I was eating with some of the guys, and then Deji walked past, and I looked at Deji, and I said, I just can't get rid of you, can I? Like, you just follow me everywhere I go. Like, so we had a laugh about it. And obviously, a lot of people turned up. And the reason I say most people probably recognize me from Sky Sweat Room was one of my closest friends, someone she knows that's part of the guild.
Yeah.
She was at the event, and she said, and she saw me in, I think I was in the background of one of her videos. Oh, that's someone I know.
Yeah.
And then it was broadcasted on a Sky channel, because obviously Sky TV, Sky Broadband.
Yeah.
And it was, they plastered it all over Twitter. The advertisement was massive for this Sky Sweat Room thing.
Yeah.
One of her friends messaged her that, hey, I think I see Jammerz on screen. She goes, oh, okay, it's fine. Like, he's just commenting.
He's just doing his thing,
and
it's
then
fine.
He said to her, no, he's not commentating, he's playing. He's like, no, that can't be right. And then he sent her the link, and she went, oh, he's playing. And then she messaged me and said, why are you playing? And I was like, long story. She doesn't live where it's based. She's not far from there, so we just met up, and I said, no, I'll just tell you everything in person. It's a lot easier. So we just went back and forth. I've known her. Her name's Melissa. Shout out to Melissa. I've known her for a very long time, and she's very blasé about the whole situation, because she doesn't. At one point, she said, "I don't realize how big you are," because she'll have people telling her about me.
Yeah.
And then, because I'll tell you what it's crazy. I'll tell you what it's crazy.
All right.
So versus fighting last year. See, we're going on so many tangents. I didn't make it.
That's fine. Last year.
Versus fighting last year.
Yeah.
So basically, okay, let's put it into perspective. Versus fighting falls on her birthday weekend. Oh, so basically, I go to. Yeah, her birthday's basically on the weekend of Versus Fighting. It just happens. And I'm usually going to Versus Fighting if she's got other plans, so I can't be part of a gathering, a social gathering she wants to do every year for her birthday.
Sure.
Now, I was going to Versus Fighting last year.
2025.
But I only went for last year. So
2023.
Yeah. So I said, right, I'll come to your birthday party on the Saturday, but I'll go to Versus Fight on the Sunday, because I wasn't going to go to Versus Fight all weekend.
Yeah.
Now, when we met up with all her friends, her sister messaged her, and her sister said this exactly. She said, somebody asked me why Jammerz isn't at Versus Fighting. Can you find that out? Someone said that to her sister. Her sister did it, and she showed that to me. And she's like, why is somebody messaging my sister about this? And dude, it was like completely wild. And then in this bar we were at having a party, I was catching up with an old friend, and then two people came up to me, and they said, hold on a minute, you were just in Saudi Arabia for that big Street Fighter thing. And I said I was. And then they said, oh, we love what you do for the UK, keep representing. And like, they done the whole thing. And then they walked up. And then my friend's like, yo, I'm trying to be like you, man. Like, why get all these people coming up to me? I'm trying to be like you. And then my other friend, she looked over with her girlfriends and said, who was that? And then my guy goes, oh, these two recognized him from an event that they watched. And they wait, are you famous? And they goes, yeah, he is. It was just like, I'm like, bro, like, can we talk?
No, I wouldn't.
And then she sits there and she goes, I don't realize how big you are, because I've known you for so long, but other people, how they view you is different. So it's like, man, this is crazy. I said, now do you believe me? Like, so I just told it, sort of thing. But that's why I say with the Sky Sweat Room stuff, I've been recognized through friends of friends. Someone stopped me in the supermarket because he saw me. I was doing some shopping and he stopped me. And he said, hold on, you went like this. He went, and then I had my headphones in. He's like, oh, you were on that Sky thing the other day playing some Street Fighter. He's like, oh, man, I love that stuff. This is cool. I've always wanted to do it. And he was so happy to see someone in person because, again, like, okay, I'm going to show my age here. I'm 30, right? Now, teenagers nowadays, because esports or gaming or being paid to game content, create influence or whatever this nonsense is, because it's a thing now.
Yeah.
When kids get asked, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you're older? I'm pretty sure they still get asked that dumbass question.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of them try to tell their teachers or their mentors or adults what they want to do. And the generation doesn't quite understand what it is.
No.
Now, this guy, he was all like excited and exuberant because someone is finally in his vision that can probably explain what he's been trying to tell all the people in his life what he's wanted to do.
Yeah.
And this guy was so excited. He wanted to take a picture. There's no memory on his phone, so he was deleting pictures. And I was standing there watching him delete pictures. And then he ends up saying, the phone's not even mine anyway. And I was like, you want a picture and you're deleting pictures to get memory off a phone that isn't even yours. I was like, damn, this is wild. This is crazy. He really wanted the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really wanted the picture. So I said, look, give him the picture. He's probably never get this chance again. And then he said, as he was getting excited, trying to like catch his breath and explain how excited he was and what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He said, wait. He said, let me get my mum. So he runs off and he goes to get to his mum. And I was like, right, I've got to give the greatest elevator pitch of all time.
Yeah.
Because he's probably been trying to explain to his mum for ages what he wants to do and he can't do it. And now there's someone live in the flesh who can do it. So I was basically bringing down his mum. I said, all right, cool. Look, I just work with Street Fighter. I go to a lot of events and we talk about like tournaments and stuff, so on and so forth. And it's taken me to different parts of the world, like America, different parts of the UK, Europe. I was just in Saudi Arabia. So, okay, that's really cool. This is how long you've been doing it for. I said, like 7 to 10 years. So this is, wow. So you've been doing this for a little while then. And then obviously conversating back and forth. And then I said to the guy, I said, well, your mum's here. Why don't we take a picture with your mum's phone and you can sort out how to get the picture later. So we took a picture on his mum's phone and then like they went off. And I was like, damn, I just wanted to get a can of milk.
Nope.
And turned out to be taking pictures with someone.
You are famous.
I have been. No, do you know what? I spoke to Yipes about this because you have to understand I'd say we're not famous because Kanye West is famous.
Yeah, sure.
Kanye West goes somewhere, everybody and probably the whole town will stop. They will stop to like, look, we're not that famous. Katy Perry, Thierry Henry, Cristiano Ronaldo, whoever, you will stop and know they're there.
Sure.
Or there'll be bodyguards, whatever. Listen, I tell you who's famous, Pokimane. I saw Pokimane at Evo 2022. He had 3 bodyguards around her with her and her homegirl. That is famous. Let me tell you that right now. That is famous. Let me tell you that right now. And well known. I think that's a better way of putting it. That's how Yipes articulated it. And because I've been recognized in the supermarket, car park, in my barbers. That was a scary one.
I'll bet.
At the airport, at the Eurostar train station, like you are seen places.
Yes.
So, and it's like the more you get exposed and people get exposed to this stuff, the more you will be seen.
Oh, definitely. And
we are just well.
You're definitely well known. All right, you might not say you're famous. I will say you're famous. You are Mr. Hollywood 4K Jammerz. And so, but just a little rewind, just for those that are listening, and for those that don't know, the Sky Guild Sweatbox Sweat Room Guild is a esports organization that is part owned by Sky, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch. The other partner or owner of Guild is David Beckham, so they have links with football and soccer. Sorry. So, yeah, David Beckham.
They got a Subway sponsor as well.
And Subway. So if you want some 12-inch subs, they haven't got it to Chipotle yet, but they're working on it, I'm sure. But yeah, Subway, Sky is a satellite cable company within the UK.
It's a TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a TV organization. 99% of the UK, Britain, has Sky in their household. So it is a well-known product. And
yeah, it's a British broadcaster like the BBC, telecom communication, like ATT or AT&T,
yeah,
something like that.
So they are quite massive. So they do have billboards. They have adverts.
They are very massive. Don't worry, they are very massive.
I'm waiting to check this billboard out to see if I can still spot you on them. But yeah, they've got billboards, they've got adverts, they've got TV, newspaper articles, or newspaper adverts as well. And Jammerz's face is probably plastered on some of them still because they don't change that often. So that was the one thing you think you are most well known for. I'd say that's probably quite true now. With now realizing, because I somehow forgot how big Sky is, and how big Guild are at the moment. They've just gone to go public, I believe, in the market. I could be completely wrong on that one, so don't take financial advice from me. So my question to you, like, with you having done this for 7 to 10 years, having been stopped in supermarkets, car parks, at your barbers, wherever, whenever, in your mind, how do you define success? Like, what is the level of success you want to achieve every time you sit down, cameras go live? Like, what is success to you?
How do you define success in a field like this?
Yeah.
That's crazy, because it's, for some people, the success is, he's made it to this event, talking at this event about like X player or X players.
Yeah.
Some people think just getting there is the success.
Well, for you personally,
I would say I'd definitely say it's being able to complete the job and doing it to the best of your ability. That's what I'd say is successful. You've put yourself in a position to be called to do the job. Now you need to kind of cement that fact. It's like, I'm capable of doing this job, and making sure. One of my objectives is people, they learn something new every time they hear me on the mic. And no matter if it's just one thing, 5 things, 10 things, whatever.
Sure.
Let's give you a different perspective, new information for you to walk away. Hey, you know what? I didn't know that today. I appreciate Jammerz going out of his way to tell me something I didn't know, and give me something to consider. Give that whole food for thought situation with these games. Because I think Street Fighter is cool. I think fighting games cool at these events. I think more people should be able to enjoy them and understand it from a deeper perspective. Not everyone wants to do that. Some people just want to be entertained. Some people want to have a laugh, so on and so forth. But I'm like, when I sit down, I'm going to tell you something that you probably didn't know. And if you did know, well, I've just got to like recite it and reaffirm the point, or we got to find something else that you didn't know.
Yeah.
And one of my things is as well, outside of that, is one of the things I ask myself, I think other commentators ask themselves this as well, is do you enhance the viewer experience in any way? Like, you have to do that. When you sit down on these seats to talk about these events, do you enhance the viewer experience? If someone knows, you're going to be in this event, I'm excited to watch this event, you're going to naturally enhance the viewer experience. If someone who's never seen that event before, they're like, hey, my favorite player is at this event, but I've never heard these commentators speak. He's like, are they going to enhance the match or tell me something I didn't know, so I can be even more excited about this player or find out that? It's like if someone was to like, think of your most idolized celebrity, right?
Sure.
And someone could basically provide a live commentary on fun facts or something you didn't know about this person. But, oh my God, I didn't know that. Now when you see this person every time, like, okay, I can't unsee that. I can't unhear that.
Yeah.
And then they keep giving you tidbits of information. Not until you know this person well enough, but it's like, okay, I think I have a better understanding from a more organic perspective as well as a professional one. And it's like, okay, cool. Did you know this person? In his spare time, he plays Elden Ring. I didn't know that. I thought he just played Street Fighter 6 12 hours a day. No, he's a huge fan of Elden Ring. Did you know this guy is a huge fan of Ghost in the Shell? I didn't know that. Oh, that's actually really, I didn't know that. And then you go, okay, guess what? Let's say something about his gameplay, so on and so forth. It's like, I've watched this guy for a long time, and I didn't realize said player does this all the time. Now I can't unsee it. So when he's practicing, he'll do this. And when he's not practicing, he's probably cutting Elden Ring. Something like that. So you enhance the experience in any way. So there's just a couple of little tidbits that you want to make sure people have a much more enjoyable experience when watching the game.
Yeah. That makes sense. So those are things you want to deliver at any event you do, whenever you sit down with them on the mic, to enhance viewer entertainment experience, give out more information, more knowledge, because I'll be quite honest, you are one of all commentators for all fighting games that I watch and have spoken to. They all drop knowledge in one way, shape, or another. You took it one step further in recent years. You started actually using move names that are listed within the fighting game, within Street Fighter. There was some discussion around that, but you stuck with it, and I appreciate it, because some of these pronunciations, or Also, some of these words even are so hard to pronounce. It's crazy.
I'll tell you something funny about that. I've been doing the whole move name thing since I started in 2014.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for ages.
Yeah.
And I can probably find you footage of people saying, who cares about the move name? Nobody loves the move name, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And now, if you go and watch events now, 9 times out of 10, Drift, real talk here, 9 times out of 10, you hear people saying the move names. And I speak to Mark about this a fair bit. I said, how far we've come, where people, and I said this to Mark and a few other people ages ago. I said, if there's one thing you need to give people, it's time. I know it's weird because we live in a world of deadlines, fast forward like lifestyles and whatever.
Yeah.
If there's time, and some people may warm up to the idea of something.
Yeah. And
some people, they don't do it. And I don't blame them for not doing it because this is just my philosophy.
Sure.
Right? And I spoke to Kizzy K about this as well. Shout out to Kizzy K. I said, there's a reason I do it. Because if you listen to what people used to call some of these news names, some of them didn't really make any sense.
Sure.
Like, they called Gen's up kicks from Street Fighter 4.
Yes.
They called it waterfall kicks.
Yes.
To me, they didn't make any sense.
Okay.
But also, calling it his actual move name might have been a mouthful.
What is his actual move name?
I honestly, I can't remember. If I don't look now, I could probably find it.
Okay, fair.
And then, to be fair, some of the move names are actually really cool names.
Yes.
Right? I'll give you like one wild example. So, Marisa in Street Fighter 6, she's got a back heavy punch and it hurts. Like, it looks like it hurt. It's called Magna Bunker. Like, that sounds way cooler than back heavy punch. Oh, it's with the Magna Bunker. And if people go, what the hell's a Magna Bunker? And I'm like, oh, that's Marisa's back heavy punch. They're like, what? Why do you know that? But then, this is what I find very interesting. Someone will go, let's take it into perspective. But there is an answer for this.
Okay.
So, I'll say a move name. They're like, why do you know that? And I'm like, well, because I can glance at the command list just for a brief second, look at the move and just go, okay, cool, that's what this is called. And we'll see the move a fair bit of times, whatever. And sometimes I ask people, I said, why do you know the frame data of that move? Why do you know it? Why do you know the start frames? Why do you know the active frames? Why do you know the recovery frames? That obviously because it's important. I said, okay, that's important for playing. Me personally, I think it's important to tell the move name of the actual move when talking about it. Because when I watch football, never do you hear it. This is my example, my comparison. When I watch football, you never hear the commentators go number 9 past number 7, number 7 past to number 12, number 12 past to number 3, number 3 past to number 22. It doesn't make any sense. Unless you're in the know, that doesn't make any sense. They tell you the player names. I just adopted that and brought in flying names. And if you can make it sound swingingly and kind of mix in, obviously, the notations, abbreviations, so on and so forth, I don't think it's a big deal. But which is my perspective. And because I say move names all the time, people go, oh, that's his trademark thing. And trust me, people just go, oh yeah, Jammerz knows all the move names. I'm like, I don't know anything else. Nothing at all. Not the players. No frame data, no matchup, just move names.
Apparently so.
But it's because if you had to dig deep for something unique, people go, oh yeah, he knows the move names. But people will sit next to me and go, what's that called? And do you know what's funny? I don't even know all the move names. And they go, but it's one of those things, right? Okay. If there were 5 moves I had to list off, and I knew 4 of them, you are sorely convinced I know the 5th one. Yes. You have convinced yourself he knows the 5th one.
Yeah.
That psychology is insane to me. That is insane. You list off 4, they go, what's the 5th one? Man, I don't know. Well, you named the last 4.
Yeah.
Surely you know them. I'm like, no, don't know it. And sometimes people go, you're lying. You know what that's called. I said, no, I don't. But because there's such ambiguity in my voice, they don't believe me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I generally don't know. And then people just don't believe it. And then when people see me on bigger stages, bigger events, they're like, wait, how the hell does this guy know all the move names? They're like, that's just his thing. I'm like, okay, so do any of you actually go in training mode and look at the command list? Do any of you actually play the game? Do any of you... And do you want to know something funny as well? If you watch Japanese events, the Japanese commentators say their move names all the time. They say it all the time. Every time. And me and C4, shout out to C4, me and C4 laugh at this, right? Because people are like, wow, oh my God, he knows the move names to all the special moves in Street Fighter. In Skullgirls, they got move names for the normals. They've got move names for every single normal.
Oh no.
And then, people, it came out for Street Fighter 5 where Gil and Seth came out.
Yeah.
They were giving their normal attacks and move names. People are like, wait, do you have to learn all this? I'm like, you don't have to. What I've done, this is just my, maybe I'm just in my own head, maybe it just sounds arrogant. What I've done is set standards in several areas for people to follow suit.
Sure.
And because when I got into this, there was not many people ahead that were enough blueprints to formulate something.
Yeah.
But while that sounds not so good, it actually was, because it was like, okay, if there's no standard here, I will set one. And then it's like, for people behind, they will think, okay, if I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. But people do this. I didn't have that in front of me.
Yeah.
If you look at all the comments, if you look at all the up and coming commentators now, people that are really getting and finding their stride, do you know how much a wealth of blueprint, of foundation or formulas they have to follow?
A lot
opposed to the people before us.
Before you,
opposed to the people before me, and even with me, there were not many people doing it. So you're like, right, you have to figure this out. Now, if someone to jump into commentary, they're like, okay, I want to be like this person. I want to be like that person. I was like, let's try and follow the formula. But you have to be very careful with that, because with what we do, people imitate the what and not the why.
Yes.
Because you're like, right, you see people saying X, Y, and Z, popping up the energy, people laughing, people actually having a good time. You're like, okay, that seems to work. Let's replicate that.
Yeah.
And that's not always a good thing.
No.
Prime
example there, I would say, is probably Tasty Steve. Like, so many people want to imitate. And Yipes, yeah, Steve and Yipes. People want to imitate them, and they do it, but it's sometimes to a detriment of themselves, right? So yeah, sorry, and you were saying, continue.
But it's just one of those things where you gotta be careful when you want to. I think if you're gonna try and imitate someone, I think you should just ask them. Just say, how do you make things work for you, so on and so forth. Maybe they might give you some pointers here or there.
Yeah.
But you need to, with my thing and the move name stuff, that's what most people probably remember me for.
Yeah.
And I'll even do another thing, right? Outside of the football reference.
Yeah.
When I used to watch Street Fighter Cross Tekken update videos from Combo Fiend and Horns at the time when they worked at Capcom.
Yeah.
And when they used to break down the moves, they used to say the official move names. And then when I used to do YouTube videos, I'd followed that same formula. I said, hey, here's X character's move. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then it brought it into the commentary. But don't worry, I can find some old footage where people are like, why would you do this? And now people do it is Drift. I promise you, when I watch things from home or at events, I just laugh and go, this is hilarious. It took you 7 years, but
you're here now.
Here we are.
Yeah,
here we are.
It only took you 7 years, but carry on.
Other things are. This is my thing, because it's like, because fighting games are so unique, there's certain things you have to follow. Like, you have to understand the player psychology. You have to know the frame rate. You have to know the matchups. So when people introduce different things, it's like, okay, are you tackling on something extra that is kind of frivolous? Do we need it or not? So on and so forth. But it's like, in a day and age where everyone's saying, hey, be unique, what's your USP, you've really got to find something and stretch it out. And now, what's interesting is now that most people are saying move names or raising the bar with that stuff, I'm like, okay, cool, that standard's been raised. Either create a new one, or we have to level up 100-fold so we can still be consistent. Yeah. Because as you know, iron sharpens iron, or water seeks its own level and never stops moving.
Yes.
Like, so we gotta keep doing it, man.
100%. You raised a very good point, or you triggered something in my mind when you were talking about setting blueprints and setting processes and building and having building blocks for people to build themselves up, especially new up-and-coming commentators. They've got everything set by yourselves and everyone else at your level. You had less with what was currently available back in the day when you first started. So my question now, excuse me, and I keep saying the question now, thank you. The question really is here, who do you look up to? And it doesn't have to be another commentator. Like, who do you look up to emulate, to understand how they work, and basically mix it in with your own personality and your own commentating style?
Or it doesn't have to be FGC.
No,
FGC.
no, it doesn't have to be a commentator. It doesn't have to be FGC. It could be anything, anyone, history, current, just people, someone you look up to and go like, I like the way they speak, or I like how they present, or whatever they do. Like this, it's quite a broad question, but I thought you are probably one of the better questions to ask a commentator, because as a trailblazer like yourself, like all the move names and all of that, joking aside, which we just had, you are one of the most well-known fighting game commentators we currently have this generation. So I'm trying to understand how you work.
We could be here for a very long time.
Don't worry, I've got 2 more questions after this. And
that's a whole podcast. Right, so Gary Lineker is one of them.
Okay.
Gary Lineker is definitely one of them for Match of the Day. I'm a huge fan of the football. I watch Match of the Day when I can.
Yeah.
I love the way he presents, how he talks to Ali Shearer, Micah Richards, all the other guys that come on the show, Danny Murphy, everyone there. So Gary Lineker is one. If I go outside, go outside of the fighting games. There was a comedian I used to watch called Hassan Minaj. He was pretty funny.
Okay.
I like the way he presented ideas and the energy he brought when he was hosting events and stuff. I'll see if I can find him and then show you.
Okay.
He used to do a lot of really funny videos and skits, and I really liked that.
Sure.
Who else did?
So we've got a pundit and a comedian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, if we go within the FGC,
Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on then.
Steph Killian,
Yes.
100%. I'll never forget this. Right?
Okay.
Evo, I think it was Evo 2018,
Sure.
2018 or 2019. Steph Killian, you're lucky if you see him once a year. You're very lucky if you see him once a year. Didn't see him the whole year. Comes another Evo top 8, and he said something very nuanced and specific about Zeku. And I was like, wait, that's not right. And then I went and go double checked, and he was right. And I said, I haven't seen you all year, and there's no indication that you were looking at this. How did you know that? And that was one of my biggest inspirations. I said, you don't have to tell anybody what you're doing to know what you're talking about.
True.
You don't have to show them the working out. If you know the answer and can articulate the answer properly. And I was like, yo, we gotta try that. So, and it's like, I saw that and I said, we'll try that. Let's just prepare for the event, but I won't tell anyone I'm preparing for the event. I'll just say, see you at the event.
Sure.
Because I'm a firm believer of if my knowledge or my camera presence or something does not articulate that I've done the work and I study, then I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
I know we're in a day and age it's like, hey man, you should put this on the stream and you should turn your whole life into content and turn it into content and make some money. And it's like, you don't need to do that. That's just me personally. I should probably get on board with doing it in some aspects, but just in general, it's not my thing. I work faster off camera because I'm able to just
Reel it off.
like understand, try different things, and do stuff like that. And sometimes when I'm streaming and I think aloud, people answer. I'm like, I didn't need an answer. I was just thinking out loud.
I'm just talking to myself. Sharp chat.
Yeah, it's like, but obviously they don't know that.
No,
they don't know. And obviously I can have videos on in the background. I can play an RPG or something while working and so on and so forth. So we can do all this stuff while doing that. But I'm a firm believer is if I get called for a job, we will prepare for it. I don't have to tell people I'm preparing for the next thing. I have to simply show that in general.
Yeah.
So to give off the impression to you, there's like, okay, he is doing this. Because I watch a lot of replays. I've been catching up on a lot of tournaments. I play the game as well. I'm religiously engrossed in this stuff.
Yeah.
So I need to be able to show that. And Seth King, that was such a epiphany, like that light bulb moment. I was like, what? How did he?
A man just comes out, drops some knowledge, walks out.
Yeah, maybe he just knew that because he plays Zeku. But how that came across to me is, I haven't seen you all year, and that was a very specific situation you had broken down. And I haven't seen you all year. How did you do that? Like, that was crazy. So, Gary Lineker, Hassan Minaj, Steph Killian.
Yeah.
Who else? The thing is, this is dangerous because
Right.
with this line of work,
Yes.
okay, so for a lot of people, if they idolize a footballer, they're never going to meet that footballer in person.
Sure.
The closest you'll probably get is they'll sign your T-shirt, but you'll never be able to sit down with them, have a nice conversation, laugh, and have common ground.
Sure.
With us, you're going to see us in a event. You're probably going to play us in a game,
Sure.
and you're probably going to chat with us over food or whatever later. So there's a much deeper connection in the FPC.
Yeah.
And at one point, I was like, you know what? There's some people. Listen, I'll tell you this, right? Before we continue down, I'll tell you this. I never had working with Justin Wong for the entire time I've been watching him playing fighting games since 2012.
Sure.
I never had working with Justin Wong on my bingo card.
That's fair.
That's happened.
That's fair.
I never had that on my bingo card. Never. Never thought me watching James Chen from 2011, 2012, I'd work with him. James Chen drove me to the airport one day, 2 hours. Long conversation with James Chen. Never in my life did I think, yeah, I'm going to sit in a car with James Chen and we're just going to talk some shit. Yeah. Never in my life did I think I'd work with Ultra David. Never in my life would I see these people.
Honestly,
so it's hard for me to go, I like this person because I've been able to sit alongside them and work them, and they are human beings as well.
Yes,
they love the game. They're very passionate about their job, and some of these guys have deeper insight than they let off. Trust me, they have deeper insight than they let off.
I can believe that.
Some people, a lot of commentators get flack for reasons that I think are unfair, but it's because they're judging you from the end work, the end performance,
sure,
not from what I can see.
Okay,
but the whole behind the stage stuff. Hey, quick plug.
Thank you.
But yeah, so Seth King of the FGC, I'd say Logan as well. Logan's work ethic it's insane. It's actually insane.
He does grind. People don't know he grinds.
Well, he grinds, and I think his way to formulate ideas and make it all connect, like it's its own ecosystem or own metropolis, that is insane. Because not many people would take on that. They wouldn't take on that burden. Some people would call it a burden.
Okay.
But he wants to do. And he has a lot of ideas that replicate goals on Sunday from the football. So
I mean, we
take huge influence from the football.
Oh, 100%, 100%. We are a country that lives and breathes football, for better or for worse. But no, I don't need too many names. Oh, definitely. So yeah, Logan, Seth Killian, Gary Lineker, and the comedian I've already forgotten the name. Hassan Minhaj, thank you. And that's 4 already. That's perfect. Like only other for one.
Other people are like close friends, or they're nice. Like it's like we draw. It's the whole iron sharpens iron thing. I'm like,
definitely.
I idolize this person. Yeah. If I had to put someone there,
sure,
I would probably say Tasty Steve.
Sure.
Because Steve's mentality and him wanting people to share the experiences that he wants. And it's like, yo, if Steve like really fucks with you like that, he'll want you to enjoy what he enjoys.
Yeah, 100%.
That's one of the reasons why I came out to Capcom Cup, is because of him.
Yeah.
There's other reasons and other things I've been able to do because of Steve.
Oh, 100%. So, yeah.
And like Steve's more of a listen, Steve is very close. He's actually got one of my do-rags actually. I think it's lost it. He's probably lost it. But it's just that's how deep and close Steve has like relationships with myself, other people in the scene, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah.
And he's even with us that Saudi EWC as well.
Yeah.
Honorable mention. I will give an honorable mention to Mace and Theory Fire. Honorable mention to those two, because again, like, we've known each other for a very long time, and again, how they've elevated themselves in life. They give me obviously pointers. Me and Theory 5 done the video together. It's hilarious when I hear people talk about Theory 5, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah,
you and me both.
Speak small. Yeah, let's speak small, please.
You and me both on that front. But no, C4, Mace, and Theory 5 are both great guys. They are definitely honourable mentions and good friends. And I'm going to set this up for an episode with C4, one get him on. So I've got to ask you this question so that I can then start him off on the whole tirade.
Oh dear.
Here we go. Commentary reel. Do you make one? Yes or no?
Do I make one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I've made one for the past 4 years.
Every year you make a new one.
I only make a commentary reel for Evo. I don't make a commentary reel.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you make one for Evo specifically.
Let me rephrase that. Right. I make a commentary reel, call it Fighting Game Commentary Reel.
Sure.
But I only make the reel to apply for Evo. That's what I do.
That makes sense. To me, that makes sense. In a 9-to-5 business or in a 9-to-5 job, when you're trying to look for a new job, when you write your CV, your resume, you should be tailoring your CV towards that specific role you are applying for. Doesn't matter how annoying it is, you should be applying for the same sort of role across different companies. You got to tweak it slightly, but that is what you aim for. That's your shot. So you do that for Evo.
Here's the funny thing, right?
Okay.
Some people find it hilarious when I say I applied for Evo, and they're like, "You applied for Evo?" And I said, "There are really no exceptions to Evo. I encourage people to apply for it, even if they think they're not going to get the job."
I've heard you in person say this.
Anyway.
You should be applying.
So there's a handful. Last time I checked, this was in one of the old applications. I don't even know if it's on this application or whatever. They pick a handful of people anyway.
Sure.
That is a handful of staple names that will go to Evo regardless. Everybody else has to apply.
Yeah.
I apply regardless.
Sure.
I make a reel. I say I want to commentate Street Fighter 6. They ask for my past experience. You list your previous events that you've done, and that's it. I am no exception to the rule. People think because of everything I've been on, they just call you. I said, no, it's not all bells and whistles. I go through the same process that, Jimmy Donuts has to go through if he wants to go to Evo as well. Make a reel, state your business, whatever. And you might get picked, you might not get picked. Because the last time I was at Evo was 2022. I didn't go to 2023. And I've had this realization's become more and more it's come to fruition and been more realistic over the years.
Yeah.
It's where people think you should be as opposed to where you end up.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh yeah, people are like, oh wait, why weren't you at Evo last year for Street Fighter 6? I said, I just didn't make the cut. That's it.
Happens.
No two ways about it. They're like, oh, but you deserve to be there. I said, fantastic.
Thanks.
I'm not there.
I'm not. Yeah. You're not the hiring person. You can say, oh, we should be there.
There's so many reasons as to why someone does get called for a job and why someone doesn't get called for a job. And it's like, I understand where the public's coming from. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, but you've done X, Y, and Z. I said, okay, you're listing it based off of accolades. You're not understanding the other situation. I get what you mean. Based off accolades, most people should be in certain positions where you feel they should be. But there's only so many seats at the table, and there's a lot of qualified people to do the job. There's a lot of qualified commentators to do these jobs.
Oh, 100%.
So, and I'd say, one of the things I say is don't bring personal feelings to business.
Why not to?
It's going to hurt.
Yes.
It's going to hurt, and you're probably going to say something you don't want to say, and it's probably going to hurt you and your reputation in the long run. So if I don't get called for something, I'm like, then I love that company or said company.
Yeah.
I've worked with the people. They probably haven't picked me for 1,000,000,001 reasons.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, if anything, what that will allow you to do is prepare for your next event, watch the event and try and enjoy the event for what it is, because that's exactly how you got into the FGC in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can probably go play a video game you haven't played in a little while or nonsense like that. It's not. Because I think there's just a thing where people are like, I have to be at every event throughout the whole calendar. It's like, dude, you can't win them all.
Nope.
Your body can't physically take that.
Nope.
And maybe there's some events you probably don't want to be at anyway. So
True.
don't feel hard done by it. And if you ask people, why do you think you weren't at this event? Oh, Drift, the answer you hear. It's like trying to get someone to hold themselves accountable.
Oh, no, for sure.
Listen, some of the answers I have heard from people who didn't get called for the event.
Oh, man.
Or didn't get called for a event.
Yeah.
Right? It is because I can't say nothing because I understand what it's like. And people forget this part. Right? I've been doing this for a very long time.
Yes.
And there were times in my early days where I thought, hey, maybe I can really have a go at this event, really have a shot, so on and so forth. Maybe I might get the call. Never got the call. The event comes and goes.
Yeah.
You get upset because you weren't part of the experience. You weren't part of the event. You didn't get to feel the people that you hang around with, so on and so forth. That happened to me a lot. Now I'm actually very blessed and very lucky to be called for a lot of events, and these are very big events, and being able to talk about this. And I see people now saying, man, I wish this event, they didn't call me. I've done this, I've done that in the past. Da, da, da. I said, man, if I spoke like you guys,
never get a job.
I'd be just like you. Honestly,
no, it's true. Honestly, it's true. Because I'm the same. Like, I want to be at Evo. I applied for Evo. I still haven't had the call or gotten the shot to be at Evo to take photos for them. I don't blame them. I know it's business. There is a budget requirement. There is a team to fill out. I've had Tempest Rob, an amazing photographer, on here, and he's spoken about like budgets and whatnot and events. And much like yourself, there are 101 other qualified people already and waiting to get the call and do the job. And that is just not even taking into account their accolades, also their region, because they could already be US based. Like you and I are in the UK, right? It's definitely an extra cost to fly us out to an American event or a foreign event. When you can already get local people do a great job, because they're still amazing, they're amazing people, and they do an amazing job, and they're already there. So, it's, as a business, that is what you have to sometimes consider. And that is what sometimes people forget about. Emotions come into play. Twitter or social media in general is a thing. And then people just turn off their brain and start typing.
It's difficult because it's one of those things where, go back to what you just said, it's like, we're UK based. So flying us out to America, that's already a big deal. They've gone across the pond and said, we want your services over here.
Yeah.
So you must not squander opportunities like that.
100%.
My advice to you is keep applying. If you have to apply for photography, keep doing it.
Oh yeah, I'll still do that,
because you'll learn something new every year when you don't get the job, and it'll kind of push you further to go, hey, I feel I can do this. Let me qualify, so on and so forth. But
I mean,
it's very hard, and it's like one day, maybe in the near future, maybe it's something in the long distance future, I really want to have a no hold barred. Like, just go all out and tell people. Like,
your retirement year of commentary, I will have you back on. Alba will just turn. Like, I don't want to quit. I'm not fucking with anyone's jobs or lives. So, like,
but it's like you have to understand. We all envision the same outcome.
Yes,
you have the best people. You have tons of people there enjoying the event. They're living it up. They're talking about their favorite game. They're taking pictures. They're hosting, they're doing whatever. And so unfortunately, some people do miss out. It's not the end of the world. I get it's disheartening, but it's not the end of the world. And one of my things is, my mentality is a little bit different. So I think it's a little bit different, but everyone can say that. I think, this is just me, I think personally, if you in your event calendar, if you had a bunch of jobs already mapped out, if you miss one or two, it's not a problem because you've already got the rest of them lined up.
Sure.
So I'll give you an example. Last year, I wasn't at Evo 2023. That sucks. I really wanted to be there. The first inaugural year for Street Fighter 6, I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
I didn't get the call.
No
problem. I'm not crying because they had over 7,000 players there. They had tons of qualified commentators to be there and everything. There was proper legitimate reasons I wasn't there. Not the end of the world. But also, a week after Evo was Gamers 8. I'm not going to be butthurt about missing. I'm not going to be butthurt about missing Evo because I've got that line. I'm sorting out Gamers 8 and getting that lined up.
Yeah.
I also got called to go out to LA 4 times for CPT event, and I got called to do the CPT offline in Paris. Missing out on Evo is the least of your concerns.
True.
So. But other people, if Evo was the be-all and end-all for them,
yeah,
I'd understand. Because that might have been the one and only, that might have been one of 3, that might have been one of 2. That might have been one of the events they really wanted to go for and qualify for.
Yeah.
But for me, because I already had other work lined up, if I miss one, it's not a big deal. But maybe my mindset is because of the position I'm in now. So it's like, yeah, Jammerz, it's because you'll get called, potentially called for other events, is why you're not completely butthurt. But for someone else,
yeah,
it could be like the world comes crashing down. But I'm like, bro, if it comes crashing down, you better hold that motherfucking shit out. Like,
True.
Like you better get back to, you better have your 15 minutes, your 24 hours of sulking, whatever. I know there's a big time jump, but
Doesn't matter.
it's like
You get back on the
you
horse.
need to get ready. Yeah, you need to get back on the horse. I'm not saying necessarily get on the grind, because I think what tends to happen with some people is when they don't get a job, they inevitably, okay, it's like, all right, okay, it's like if you were in a boxing match and you lost the boxing match, you got beat up so badly, you go back to the gym and start lifting more plates or start doing 50 press ups. And it's like, bro, that's not the answer. I promise you that's not the answer. You got to think about what happened, and then you might have to change your philosophy or a strategical way of thinking to get back on because you're probably already on the right track. It's just one or two things that need to be tweaked.
Yeah.
For commentators, they think, right, I got to do more events, I got to grind more, I got to put myself out there, I said, maybe not. Maybe you might need to work on the quality instead of the quantity. And I think in this line of work, this is one of my things. I don't know anybody else. You hear it first. Behind the stage exclusive. What you want as a commentator is the quality of your work to increase with the quantity, around roughly the same level. So as you get more gigs, the quality should match and go up. You don't want to have it too lopsided in one way. And I think a lot of people, what we see is people try to, because if you look at it from the public, right? Okay, we'll give an example, right? You saw me at EWC, you saw me at Evo, you're going to see me at UFA, you see me at Thinkball. You're like, damn, Jammerz, you're everywhere. You're grinding. Like, okay, this is just the fruition of all the quality, all the work I've been trying to put in to make sure I stay on point. It's just, now it's coming in the quantity format. Everybody sees the quantity format, not the quality. I have to show you or provide the quality. You only see the quantity. But what people see as the public, they go, oh, he's everywhere, so clearly he didn't see it. And it's like, dude, I've seen some people that go to all these events and they haven't improved. They're just there. And remember, availability, you know this as well. Availability is one of the biggest things you can have in this line of work. Availability is massive.
100%.
Even if you don't get the job,
yeah.
Are you available? Yeah. Are you available for that? For a hypothetical period of time. That is massive. That's how some people do get jobs. It's because they're available.
Yeah.
They might not be the grade A or grade S kid for the job, but they're available.
Yeah, it's true.
So you need to understand that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is definitely a good time.
I just think that some people need to probably refine the quality of their work before they worry about the quantity. The quantity will come. Believe me when I say it, the quantity will come, because there's events happening, online, offline. You'll be able to find it. Improving the quality of your work, you want to do that for yourself, not just for people listening to you. But yeah.
And speaking of...
I'm good on 70 times.
That's fine. No. Speaking of like improving the quality of your work, how... This is going to be a very dumb question. I say dumb question. It's, well, how do you recommend people in now, from where you started to now, the last 10 years of becoming a commentator of your stature, of getting these gigs, being available, like how do you recommend people go about improving their craft to get these gigs? We've said don't grind, get back, don't grind too hard, get back on the job, get back on the horse, sorry. The quality should match the quantity. We do have online and offline events. Like, is it simply a case of, hey, just apply to on any event that you can do to get the experience first? You could try and apply for Evo, but I probably wouldn't recommend that as your very first commentary gig. But yeah, like, what would you recommend people wanting to become the next Jammerz, the next generation of Jammerz as a commentator?
Oh, that's crazy. The next generation Jammerz sounds mad scary. I would say, one of the things that I asked myself is, when people say I want to get into commentary, I'm like, okay, I'll ask you this question. I'll say, what do you want when you watch events?
Yeah.
What do you want out of the event? Whatever you want out of the event, whatever your answer is, use that as your foundation. So for my thing is, when I turn on the stream or watch the VODs, I want the commentators to tell me something I didn't know. Okay, that's my answer. That's my foundation. To tell you something that you didn't know. That's my foundation. people need to find a foundation to build on. Because listen, a weak foundation doesn't make a good home. Like, you need to, like, come on, we need to get this right here. Have a strong foundation, we can build from there.
Yeah.
I'd also say as well, ask yourself this, because a lot of people get these two confused. Do you want your 50 minutes of fame with your favorite fighting game, or do you actually want to do this? Because I find that a lot of people want the glamour and glitz. They want to go, oh yeah, I want to commentate this game. Okay. Why do you want to commentate this game? It's like, yeah, because it's fun. Okay, so why don't you commentate this online event or whatever? They're like, no, man, I want to do the Capcom Cup. I want to do the XFL. It's like, so that's what you want. Okay, cool. Now we know what you want. So do you want to actually do this, or do you want the big jobs or the big positions? Because then you have to lead them down a different route, because now it's different. Right. I'd also say as well, you really need to focus on building a portfolio. Building a portfolio, a semi-decent one. It doesn't have to be great. A semi-decent one, just so you can have it around saying, hey, you can show people who are not into this thing that, hey, here's what I do. I can do public speaking. I'm articulate on the mic, so on and so forth. They can see that stuff. But then also when you apply for Evo or whatever, and more events, even USA done it. More events are saying, hey, apply to commentate here. Listen, this is my thing. It might be very naive. I want a lot of events in the FGC to be treated like a job you're applying for on LinkedIn. But that's a different story, because I know there's a lot of ghost applications on LinkedIn. So some of the jobs don't actually exist. Yeah, I've been chronically online, don't worry. But I want it to be like an Evo. Okay, here at Evo, we want to hire 39 to 42 commentators. You can apply here. Do you have what it takes? I want everybody to be given that chance.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I don't think every event should do that, because I think there should be invitational events reserved for a certain subset of people or for a certain skill set. But the vast majority of events, I would like, and I think more people are getting in this direction now, it's like, hey, apply for commentary here to give people the chance to work at these events, build a portfolio, and kind of build a skill set. Because I'm kind of the person where I'm like, I think it's better that most people learn trial by fire. They have to do the event. Because some people, they want to do it because they see it on camera, and then when they realize the feedback of the reception they get, they're like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
When they realize all the logistics, I don't like this. And it's like, okay, give them the opportunity to make them think for themselves. Thinking's not illegal yet, guys. Thinking, like, you can still do it. Like, you can still do it. So focus on building a portfolio. Find out what your foundation is for commentary, and then kind of build from there.
Fair.
I'd say, set a goal and then ask the right questions. Yeah, that kind of works into that as well. So it's like, okay, what do you want? Okay, by the end of 2025, what do you want done? Do you want to have applied for a certain amount of events to work at? Do you want to work at an event? Do you want to be able to be seen here, so on and so forth? And then build towards that. You have to set realistic goals as opposed to, I want to work at Capcom Cup. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
There are certain people that are exceptions and not the rule.
Yes.
And there will be some cases where people find diamonds in the roughs or so on and so forth, where they can fit the bill, and then they basically Universal Studios fast track their way to certain positions.
Yeah, happens.
It does happen.
It does happen.
And not everybody can do that. If you find yourself in that position,
amazing.
I mean, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But some people don't do that. No. I'd also say work on your articulation and deliverance. It's one of the biggest things here. If you have a point, you have to figure out how it comes across, how it sounds, does it hit right, so on and so forth. Because I think, again, a lot of people getting to the event is only half the battle. Doing the actual job is it.
Yes.
I think a lot of people too, they're fixated on, like, we need to get to this event. And once you learn the rules of how to get to events in certain areas, it's like, okay, now you actually have to do a job. Because remember, not only are the people hiring you judging you, the people watching from home and in the venue are judging you as well.
Yeah.
People judge you for different things. And no one is above criticism. No one's above criticism.
True.
They'll go, hey, some people will go, why is this guy at this event? He doesn't know what he's talking about. She doesn't know what he's talking about. And other people will go, hang on a minute, how did he go with it? What's going on here?
Yeah.
People get judged for all kinds of things.
That's crazy stuff. No, that's for sure. That's true.
You have to do that. And also as well, I don't think many people say this as well, try to understand who you're working with on the job. That's a very big deal. Take it from me, who came from a solo background and had to learn. It took a very long time to learn to work with other people in this kind of capacity environment. Try to understand it, because I think a lot of people, you find a lot nowadays that random pairings are coming up and they're not trying to understand each other.
They're not melding. They're not molding together.
But for people, chemistry is a very big deal. I don't think everyone is going to be able to work with everyone, but you can train yourself to be versatile.
Yes.
And there will be some people that you work better with over others.
Yeah.
But you should always try to understand the person you work with. Some people will be new. Some people will be experienced. They'll be veterans.
Yes.
I've worked with a wide spectrum of people. I've had to babysit people on the line. I've had to be the co-commentator. I've followed people on the mic, and that's been a really good time. And I've been like the leading role. So in fact, I've done all sorts.
You've done it all. Yeah, I've done it all.
That's me. Getting paid to babysit is probably the worst one.
Oh, we're gonna have a whole different episode on the inner workings of commentary. This, I think, is a very broad spectrum, a bit about yourself mainly, but a broad spectrum of commentary, of being behind the stage. Second plug. Last question, and we'll wrap it up, because we have taken up a lot of your. I've taken up a lot of your time, and I think we both have to pack for UFA because we all both go tomorrow. It's gonna be hilarious. It was fine. It's fine. And also, you did do Evo this year, so you missed out on 2023, but you did 2024 and 2022. So props for you on that one. No, the question is, what is one thing you want John Doe, general public, myself, to know about your role that you think they don't know about? What is the one hidden secret? What a hidden, not the one secret, a hidden secret you think people overlook or don't understand about your role as a commentator? And that could be anything. Just take me as a dumb child.
Wow.
And I came out of nowhere. So you can say anything you want.
I think people don't understand. You don't always have to agree with what I say. And I think people need to understand I have an opinion just as much as the next person does. Because sometimes on commentary, I'm a professional fan. I look at players, and these players are world champions. They are consistent players. They're some of the best in the world. And sometimes I disagree with what they do. And some people, I got a lot of flack recently this year.
Oh, yeah.
From people like, you shouldn't be telling players what to do and X, Y, and Z, da, 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 da. And it's like, I only say that it's because I've watched them hundreds of times online. I've spoken to them and offline, and they're not doing what they told me they were going to do. And I just come on the mic and say, why didn't you do that? They're worried about the wording instead of the message. They're worried about how you say it. I'm like, why on earth would you? Yeah, I remember there was one guy. It was one guy at Evo. So okay, let's put this in perspective.
Okay.
Me and Vicious were commentating at Evo this year. Shout out to Vicious. And we were watching Akuma versus Bison. There was a bunch of Akuma versus Bison at Evo this year.
Classic.
And Bison has a mechanic where he puts a psycho mine on you. So basically a mine, and the mine can detonate after a certain period of time. You can manually detonate whenever you want after the bomb's planted, but it automatically detonates after a certain period of time. And it's a visual indication when it's about to explode.
Yes.
The guy who had the bomb planted on him, he was flashing purple, which indicates it's about to go off, and he jumped. And I was like, that's not the smartest thing you've done all day.
No.
Because it's like, you jumped when the bomb was about to go off. That's like the silliest thing you could do. Yeah. That's what I would say normally on camera or off camera.
Yes.
But people watching that just see, the commentator is disrespecting and criticizing him.
Yeah.
I said, I was like, but that was silly. Like, that was not smart. Yeah. But it's like how it comes across, and it's like, the perspective is, I'm not trying to be malicious. It's just that that's common sense. But the problem is, people go, you're in a role where you have to be professional. Yes. Where you can't be too relaxed about certain things. Yeah. And it's like, I have opinions as well. Like, I have opinions. Whether they're right or wrong, I have opinions as well.
An opinion is opinion.
It's like, I think a lot of people are very. This is one of the reasons why I tell people they need to be really careful when it comes to commentary. A lot of people are going to have opinions of you, regardless of whether you like it or not. You can't please everybody. I remember when F-Word taught me that when I was like 22. Eye-opening. Like something just little. You can't please everybody. But also at the same time, I think a lot of people, unless it's their favorite commentator, they don't give them enough credit for the stuff they actually have to do to get into the seat to be able to talk about the game, because we only get judged by the outcome of what we say. So if I say something's wrong, they'll say he's wrong, get him off. And it's like, hang on a minute, like, that's one, we can rectify that mistake. We can rectify that mistake. Yeah. Other people, it's just like, they go in and don't understand the amount of work and everything that goes into it. I know it sounds like a very cliche, generic answer.
No.
But it's more of, if I have an opinion, and it's like, I remember at one point, I used to play a lot of these guys, like on a regular basis at top level. I wasn't a top player, but I was playing a lot of these top guys. So when I was very critical of them, it's because, and the players know it, but the players are not gonna publicly go out there and say X, Y, and Z.
No.
I speak to the players on a regular basis. They're like, yeah, man, we used to play all the time, and I like that you come over to us and you ask us, and then you go and lab it yourself. I love that you send us videos of our own characters and double check certain things. We don't really see people doing that. I'm like, yeah, because I want to get this right.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, because I've had more to do and more to remember recently. I haven't been doing it as much, but I said, look, I'll come back when I have a character I want to play properly in Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
And I try to understand this role from every perspective: production perspective, my own perspective, other commentators' perspective, the viewer perspective, just to kind of see where people are at. I know it's very annoying and very difficult to do. You probably shouldn't be doing it. But the commentators are the gateway, with the bridge to make sure everyone has a good time, which is why it goes back to my thing full circle where I said, can you enhance the viewer experience? And like for me, one of my things is as well, people say, okay, you're going to love this, because I told my mum this the other day.
Oh, yeah.
She loved it. She couldn't believe how I explained it. It's brilliant. So most of the time when I get criticized now, it's actually not based on the game. It's something outside of the game. And I said, at one point when I was getting criticized, I said, I'm going to make it so people can only criticize me about anything but the game. So when I see criticism on me, it's never really about the game. It's minimal. It's not completely gone.
No, yeah.
It's very minimal.
Okay.
Very minimal. And even if it's wrong, guess what? We can rectify that in the next stream.
True.
If I say something has 4 frames of advantage and it has 3, that's very easy to rectify.
Yes.
But when people criticize me now, they're like, man, I don't like the sound of Jammerz' voice. I don't like this. I don't like that. But it rarely has anything to do with the game. True. And I said, I've done that over the course of several years. I said, we are going to change the way people criticize me. That is crazy to even...
Yeah.
That's crazy to even say.
Yeah.
As arrogant as that sounds, that is even crazy to even think. And, like I said, no one's above criticism. And I've seen people get criticized. There's one point where St. Cola got called an industry plant. I couldn't stop dying at that.
Every time.
St. Cola got called an industry plant. Other people have been called far worse.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, okay, they're criticizing me because, look, if you don't like the sound of my voice, I can't change that. I can't change that. I can try and speak a different way, but I can't necessarily change the way that's it.
Yeah.
But then, because a lot of people view commentators, they should have a certain type of commentator's voice they listen to. But there's tons of people and tons of characters from different backgrounds in the FGC.
Yes.
And they all sound different. You can't hate all of us.
No.
You can't hate all of that. But if it's your favorite commentator, everything they say is going to sound angelic to you. If you don't like them, their voice is going to sound like your hand rubbing against sandpaper. It's not gonna hit. It's
true. For sure.
People really have to understand it's like what we have to deal with, because I can be the most knowledgeable person on the planet. If you don't like the sound of my voice, you ain't gonna listen to me. Yeah. However, if I sit next to your favorite commentator, you kind of have to half turn your ear. Yeah. Because if you want to listen to him and they're talking to me, so you're gonna have to listen to me in some capacity. Yeah. Once they get past the voice, they're going to go, okay, what is he actually saying? It's like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. Because these people are very harsh judges of who is talking about the game and who isn't. Yeah. And I've seen it on most games, man. I've heard people say, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. I've heard this doesn't know this. Like, I've heard so much. But yeah, having a deeper perspective on what commentators have to do to even get that. And remember, all the work commentators put in, and they might not even get the job.
Exactly.
And if they don't get the job, you can't criticize them.
No. It's true. It's very true.
They're going to feel something else because they didn't get the job to be able to showcase their skill and illustrate why they love this so much. But the people who are on camera, they're in the open firing range.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's denigration, not like I said, again, reiterate, no one's about criticism, but most of the time people are getting denigrated. When it comes to their favorite people, and I've seen it. Man, it is so annoying when I've seen it. I'm like, hang on a minute. This person said the exact same thing that person did, but you've given them a pass.
Yeah. Why?
Why don't we just be real with ourselves?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, come on, man. Jesus. Yeah. No, legit, that's true.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So, no, thank you for that, Jammerz. I think we definitely need a part 2. There's we went on so many tangents. I've got so many questions. I'm going to re-listen to this whilst I edit, and then I'm going to have some more questions for you. So I might have to get you back on. But we're going to wrap it up here. It's been nearly. This is probably going to be one of the longer episodes, which is not bad.
I'm talking too much.
You get paid to talk. That's the thing, and you're doing this for free for me. So thank you very much. No, but thank you so much. Sorry, my bad. I'll cut out. No, legit. Thank you so much. Last part really is, aside from being a thank you, anything you want to plug? Where can people see, listen, watch you? Do you want to plug anything? Any social media? Like, well, obviously you're going to be at UFA and Singapore.
Yeah, so I guess you can follow me at HT Jammerz on X or Twitter, whatever they call it. Instagram. At HT Jammerz. Instagram's a very dangerous app, by the way. It's the biggest dating app, first of all. But Instagram is very dangerous because I don't like Instagram, but the amount of reception you get from using Instagram is very scary.
Yes.
It's very scary.
Yes.
But we'll save that for another time. You can follow me on Instagram as well.
Sure.
I do stream on the odd occasion. I'm trying to get back into streaming and experiment with some stuff. Twitch.tv/HT Jammerz. You can follow me on there. And then, I'll be at UFA. Well, by the time it's uploaded, it'll probably be after UFA.
Yeah.
But I'll be at Ultimate Fighting Arena for Spring Fight Fate. And then in October, mid-October, I will be in Singapore for the Capcom Pro Tour event happening in Singapore. It never stops. It never stops. It's a good busy, and I need to make sure I'm in tip-top shape for everything there. So yeah,
right.
Welcome to Drifts for having me on, just chatting some waffle. It's always good. And that's been behind the scenes.
Thank you guys. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.